as you see, I got my political hat on again. Anybody keeping up with what's going on in the Ukraine? Here we go again. Except this time, we're picking a fight with somebody that has nukes. A lot of them. So, I'd say the EMP threat is a major thing. What if Russia accidentally, on purpose, lost a couple of their medium-range missiles to Al-Qaeda? Al-Qaeda's still there. Not a couple, was 5 or 6. And I'm sure that Hezbollah or all them would love to get a container ship and launch a EMP attack against Europe. Let's say they launch one over Europe, a couple over the United States, over Japan, maybe even one over India. Any country that's highly dependent on technology. Of course, seeing that it's not a ground blast, there wouldn't be any fallout, so we wouldn't be able to really tell where the actual bombs came from. It'd be just an EMP attack. And the United States is totally dependent on the microchip. We are like helpless without it here. So we are at greater danger now. And I feel sorry for the people over there in the Ukraine, but that's kind of like Mexico having a civil war down there. Do you think that we would not jump over there and do something? You got to admit, the Ukraine is right on Russia's border. Russia has a military installation there in the Ukraine. So, yeah, they're not doing anything that we wouldn't do. So, I don't think we have any real business in the Ukraine. And Russia of today is not the same Russia it was back when the original Cold War was. So let's say Russian troops do run into the Ukraine. What's going to happen? What is really going to... Could things improve for the people there? They may have an improvement in quality of life, for all we know. I think we ought to mind our own business when it comes to the Ukraine, because that is Russia's back door. And, we've already got enough people hating on us, because our government, face it, they've made enemies of their own people. Their own public here in the country is angry at our own government. I mean, we've got a viral government that's got its own people, its own citizenry mad at them. We got most of the world mad at us. We've got a Federal Reserve. I mean, it's an out-of-control government. And they are going to destroy us. And they're going to take us down with them. So, yeah, you best get your stuff, your sensitive electronics, if you have any spare stuff, put it in a Faraday cage, because within the next couple of years, if we keep messing with them, Russia will, like I say, accidentally on purpose lose some medium-range missiles, and all they got to do is get a couple hundred miles off our coastline, a couple hundred miles off of the European coast, China, about 5 or 6 of those things. Just time it so they all go off at the same time. The American public won't know what to do. I mean, all you'll know is all the cars and trucks and televisions and your phones all of a sudden just go tink. And if they get Europe and England and not China, but Japan, all the allied countries at the same time, ain't nobody going to come help nobody. Because we have become totally, absolutely dependent on the microchip. There's nobody here that could live without it. And within a few months after that, we couldn't resupply our own military. our reserves would be gone, the military reserves. So there you go, folks. Here's our next catastrophe. It may not be a collapse. It could be a collapse of the dollar. It could be, Russia's got a lot of nukes, and their CIA version of the CIA, or I don't know what they call it now, KGB or whatever, they're just as powerful as our CIA. So, like I say, a few medium-range missiles go missing. They don't have to be long-range. They could be the small ones, the tactical, stuff. Goes off 300 miles in our atmosphere. You and me are screwed. Some of us are screwed more than others. But at least I got a year's supply of body fat to live off of. What are all you health nuts, you little skinny folks, going to live off of?